Hello, welcome to SPA Design. On this channel, I will be doing a lot of car designs. Yeah, that's it. So to start off, imagining that I am actually either driving the cars I'm designing or either making like a house or something that I'm in my head I'm already living in.
As you can see here, there are multiple components that are fitting into each other. So would be the upper, my bad, I'm turning it upside down. This would be the upper wishbone, this is the lower wishbone. These would be like
all the way like down there, and then it is exiting out this section, and it's also with the color and everything. You can see the blue section is a low air pressure zone, so you can kind of see the ray tracing and the reflectiveness of the body from the person on the car and stuff. The car is just very low, and this is like gonna be like one of the most realistic point of views. Like just a tiny bit higher, but you can already kind of see a good feel of outside of the car. The only thing that's still a little bit messed up is the glass, that it just kind of, because it is also like.
My name is Veldboom, and this is Veldboomstudios. And this is really like a milestone moment for me. Beginning of 2021, I actually partook in a competition in the Netherlands called the Stimuleringsbeurs.
But from here on out, we're gonna change everything. But let me start off by introducing myself. My name is Yggdrasil, and I'm a car designer. And as a young boy, like many other kids, I always had the dream of starting my own car company. But starting a car company is very expensive, and not a lot of people succeed with their automotive startups. Fortunately for me, I grew up in the southeast of Amsterdam, where we have a great bicycle lane infrastructure. The market for personal mobility devices also exploded around 2020. So it seems like the logical step for me to try my hand at making my perfect personal mobility device for the streets of Amsterdam. I introduce to you the Yggdrasil MC. This is actually the car that started it all for me, the Yggdrasil MC. MC stands for microcar, and that is exactly what it is. Intended for the bicycle lanes of Amsterdam, she is legally limited to a top speed of 45 kilometers an hour, and she has an electric range of about 250 kilometers. The electric motors give the MC about 10 horsepower, which is enough to accelerate the car from 0 to 45 in just under 2.5 seconds. With a fully charged battery, she weighs about 135 kilograms. The MC is just over a meter wide and also a meter tall, so you can park it anywhere. And with a fighter jet style canopy, it's a little bit difficult to get in and out of, but once you're in, the MC will blow your mind away. She also has a trunk big enough for 10 large pizzas. What more could you want? We started to build the first prototype in the summer of 2022. We 3D printed most of the parts to save time and money. The first prototype took us about 3 months to build. We sold the first model in 2023. The MC was a massive hit in Amsterdam, and it made me enough money to grow the Yggdrasil car company. So the next step was to start my dream car project. And as a massive fan of racing video games, I've always wanted to design a car that would represent the ultimate video game race car experience, but then on the road. And with that thought in mind, I present to you the Yggdrasil Vitruvian. I designed this car back in 2016, even before I made the first microcar. And while I was designing this car, I was doing a lot of research on the innovation that could change the way we build cars. I wanted to implement as much of this future tech into this car as possible. So this car uses ultra capacitors, pneumatically controlled valves in the cylinder heads, 700 horsepower electric boost, and with all of the success of the microcar, I was able to start my first prototype in 2025. And even 9 years after she was designed, she was still more advanced than most of the competition of the day. The first car hit the roads back in 2028. And for the next car, we really wanted to challenge the status quo on how cars are used, built, and designed. The Yggdrasil Coupe was designed around the idea that electric motors could be integrated within the wheels. This would make for the least amount of mechanical components necessary to actually drive the car forward. The electricity in this car is produced by pressurized hydrogen, and because the car doesn't need an engine, we were really free to design the car around the wheels. This really helps with the way we can control the airflow around and through the car. The interior is also really nice, you should really check it out. We used a lot of hemp-based fabrics to actually upholster the car on the seats and the dashboard. The success of these cars and some of the other products we developed over the years actually granted us the opportunity to buy an entire island somewhere around the equator. We got the keys to the island in 2031, and on the island we needed a place to live. So that's kind of how I found my way into architecture. From my perspective, a home should almost feel like a profile page. Walking in, you should almost get a sense of who the owner is and what their life is like. And for me, organized chaos or sophisticated ignorance, as Kanye would put it, is kind of the best way to describe my personality. The contrast of being an intelligent nerd from the hood is the knife edge I love to travel on. With all of our designs, we follow the form follows function mantra, so we can't just assign something because we like it, but the object should also fulfill a purpose while being aesthetically pleasing. The purpose of this virtual world is to spark ideas and also to add a new medium in the form of video gaming for all of us to tell our story through. Artists could now have their work decorate both real and virtual homes, and by using blockchain technology, we can control the amount of copies that are produced of a single item. We can also track all of the transactions made with the item to ensure that artists will always receive a percentage of the total transaction value. This ensures that artists will create passive income from their work. With this mechanism, we can also create scarcity amongst virtual cars, houses, art, clothes, you name it. So I basically just try to explain NFTs to you without using the word NFT. In these metaverses, we actually have the ability to place our NFTs against the wall of our NFT homes. So that is also why I believe that in 2025, the value of NFTs went through the roof, because with the emergence of all of these metaverses, we now actually had the ability to display our NFTs in the way we're used to display art. And that is also why in 2022, a lot of people were still on the edge. Do I use the NFT on my profile picture? What is the actual purpose? But here in this metaverse, if you own an NFT car, you can compete in a race with other owners. And with this being a metaverse, you can also trade them. On the island, you will have different ways to fill your car to be able to drive around. So on the island, we also have different ways of generating energy. People that generate energy could also sell their energy to users if they don't use it all themselves. Here on my estate, we have solar cells and we have an algae pond. The genetically modified algae produce ethanol that we can collect and filter to use as fuel in the cars. So while the cars are filling up, let me use this opportunity to officially welcome you to the Isle of Eline.